Good morning. Today we are going to discuss the case, a famous case called as Belfour versus Belfour. It has taken place in 1919. Okay. Now, what the facts of the case were like: Mr. Belfour, he was a civil engineer and he was working for government as a director of irrigation in Ceylon, in Sri Lanka. Okay. Now, he and his wife were living together in Ceylon. In 1915, what happened? He got a long leave, so he came back to England with his wife. After the holidays were over, Mr. Belfour is going to come back to Ceylon for work. At that time, or in between that, what happened? Mrs. Belfour, she developed arthritis, and her doctor advised her to stay in England because the climate in Sri Lanka was very much detrimental to her health. Therefore, the husband and wife decided that she will live back in England for a few days and he will go alone to Ceylon. Okay, and she'll join him afterwards. After, when the health is okay or the environment is okay in Ceylon, she will come back to Ceylon. Like that, it was decided by both the husband and wife. Now, occasion comes, the day comes when Mr. Belfour is going to come back to Ceylon. He is boarding the ship and all. His boat, his ship was about to sail. It was a very emotional moment because the husband and the wife, they are going to become apart. So his boat was about to set to sail, and what the husband did, he orally promised her to give 30 pounds a month till she comes to Ceylon. So we have to consider the emotional circumstances also, the position of the husband and the wife at that moment. The husband is going apart, the wife is there, maybe she is crying or he is also crying and all, and he is promising at that time that he will send 30 pounds a month to her. Okay, now both are apart. Mr. Belfour is living in Ceylon and Mrs. Belfour is living in England. Many days have passed, many months have passed. Now, Mr. Belfour is sending her 30 pounds. For few months, the money has been sent. Okay. Now, after that, what happens? As it is a long distance relationship, so they drifted apart. Misunderstandings emerged in between them, and she decided to take divorce. She filed an application to get divorce, and she has got a decree nisi also. Okay, now she has got a decree nisi and she has obtained an order for alimony also, that is for maintenance. Now moreover, what she is doing, she is filing a case against the husband for getting that 30 pounds payment also, which he has promised. An oral agreement has been done in between the husband and the wife. So she is asking for that 30 pounds on the basis of that contract. Okay, now these are the circumstances, these are the facts of the case. Now a case is there where the wife has got a decree nisi, she is getting an alimony and she is asking for the promise which the husband has given to her at the moment when he is living apart, he is going to Ceylon. Okay, 30 pounds per month. She is asking for that. Now the husband has taken certain contentions that this agreement is not valid and all, and she is telling that no, the agreement is valid. Now what the trial court has decided, that husband is under obligation to pay her because he has promised her. Okay, now the trial court decided that. The husband went in appeal. The court of appeal unanimously held that there is no enforceable agreement. Why no enforceable agreement? Because it is an agreement which was purely like a domestic agreement, a social agreement, and therefore it was presumed that the parties did not intend to legally bound by that, because it was like the husband has promised her but he's not having that intention to fulfill it. Therefore, intention to fulfill the contract is very much essential. This is a Belfour's law. What Belfour's law says, legal intention to enter into a contract is very necessary. In Belfour's case, the husband's intention is not there. Therefore, okay, he will give maintenance as per the law of maintenance, as per the law of alimony and all, but he's not bound to give. He's not bound to give the money on the basis of an agreement. And that agreement is what? That agreement is just an agreement. It is not a contract. We have seen vernaculum juris. Vernaculum juris means what? An obligation. A legal obligation must be there. Obligations are of three kinds: social obligation, domestic obligation, and legal obligation. Legal obligation comes into existence only when there is a legal offer, legal acceptance, legal consideration, legal object, isn't it? And moreover, intention to perform that contract is very much essential. Therefore, legal obligation alone can be enforceable in law. Therefore, it is an agreement which is enforceable by law where there is legal obligation, where there is legal intention. And social obligation and domestic obligations are being entered into just by the way. There is no intention to fulfill it. That has been given in that concerned circumstances. Like, okay, I'm saying yes, but that yes means only yes. It is a bare words. No intention is there. We have seen all contracts are agreements, but all agreements are not contract. All agreements may remain as an agreement because they are not enforceable in law. They will not become contract because they are just social obligation and domestic obligation. Therefore, when we see the essentials of contract, that is offer, acceptance and all. Okay, offer, acceptance, consideration, competency to parties, free consent, legal object, legal formalities must be fulfilled, and moreover, intention to fulfill that contract must be there. We have seen the essentials of offer. We have seen the essentials of acceptance also. So, in both the basic steps, the first steps which are there for entering into a contract, there is one essential, that is intention. Offer must be given to such a person with an objective that he is going to give assent. With that objective, with that intention, he has to give the proposal. Similarly, when a person gives an acceptance, it must be with an intention that he will fulfill the terms of contract. He will fulfill the terms and obligation. It is not like just by the way. He is saying yes. Therefore, legal intention to perform that promise is very much necessary. Okay, this is Belfour's law. Okay, we'll see some sections now. We have seen previously section 2, that is of definition. Then we have seen section 3, 4, 5 and 6, that is relating to proposal. Then acceptance, communication and revocation. Okay, now section 7 states about essentials of acceptance. Acceptance must be absolute and unqualified and all. 8 states about acceptance by performing condition or receiving consideration. It becomes a contract. And promises, they can be either express or they can be either implied. Here we complete chapter 1. Okay, now when chapter 2 starts, what section 10 is telling? Section 10 is telling what agreements are contracts. Means it must be first an agreement, then it will become a contract. All agreements are contracts if they are made by free consent of parties competent to contract for a lawful consideration and with a lawful object and are not hereby expressly declared void. All agreements are contracts if is very essential, if they are made by free consent of the parties competent to parties for lawful consideration, for lawful object and are not hereby declared as void. Nothing herein contained shall affect any law in force in India and not hereby expressly repealed, by which any contract is required to be made in writing or in presence of witnesses or in any law relating to the registration of documents. Therefore, this paragraph of section 10 clearly states that if legal formalities are made essential, then those essentials should be fulfilled. Like Indian Registration Act is there, which is telling that these are certain agreements or these are certain contracts which are to be registered. Section 17, Section 18 of Indian Registration Act clearly states which agreements are to be registered and which agreements may not be, or which contracts may not be registered. Optional registration are there. For optional, it's okay, it's option. But where it is made compulsory, that it must be in writing. It must be registered. There it must be registered. It must be in writing. All the legal formalities which change, they have to be fulfilled. Then only a contract will come into existence. It will be a legal contract and the rights will flow from it. Okay. Now, if a property, an immovable property is there, which is 100 rupees or more, then it must be, the sale deed must take place in a written form. It must be registered and the witness have to sign it. Okay. And if you don't do that, then the ownership is not going to pass from the previous owner. So if you, maybe the buyer, you are purchasing it, you are paying money and all, but if you don't follow these legal formalities, no legal rights are going to ensue in it. No legal rights will vest in you. Okay. Therefore, all legal requirements are to be fulfilled. Okay. Bye bye. See you in the next video.